Watch out, watch out, watch out!
SpongeBob, Johnny Bravo kicking by the beach bar. DJ making me feel like a big star.
Jimmy Neutron, boy genius.
Yeah.
I don't think I've watched this movie
Since it came out.
since the day it came out in theaters, and I watched it as like a 4-year-old or whatever. So going back to it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, so I watched it as well. I watched it 2 nights ago with my wife, and we went into it with her saying, you understand that Jimmy Neutron is my least favourite of all the shows you've ever shown me. And I was like, you don't need to watch it. It's okay. She's like, no, I'll watch it. So she went in with that. I went in and be like, hell yeah, let's watch some Jimmy Neutron, because I don't get to watch Jimmy Neutron much, because Danae doesn't like it.
How often have you seen the movie? Because I know you were a fan of the show.
Probably last time I watched the movie was probably 5, maybe 10 years ago. Into my kind of mid to late teenage years, if I was going to watch Jimmy Neutron, I was going to watch the show. Because, as we'll probably get into, the show is exemplary. The movie, it was a learning experience for them. You know, it was crafting the model.
I watched the VHS version, so it was like the full screen 4:3 aspect ratio. I don't know if there's a widescreen version or not.
Wait, you watched a square version?
Yeah.
Mine was cinematic, black bars top and bottom.
Yeah, I had a
Widescreen.
square version. It even said on the thing, it was like, this has been adapted
I wonder if
to
that
fit this
means you
screen.
had. I wonder if that means you lost media, or if you got top and bottom extra content. They cropped mine.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I wonder if mine was cropped or if yours was cropped. Okay, it looks like, just from this picture, that I had a cropped in version. So mine was cropped top and bottom.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I will say, from someone that's a big fan of the show, I think this movie is the best example of the concept of the show done perfectly. Because in the rest of the show, Jimmy's inventions usually, yes, do cause the problem of what's going on, but they're also always the solution. And so it seems like he's a lot smarter in the rest of the show and a lot more capable, whereas in this, you know, his inventions
kind of
cause the
falling apart.
problem, and everything falls apart, and he can't actually fix it just straight away with another invention. Whereas in the rest of the show, it's always just, okay, I'll invent something else that will then fix this thing that my previous invention caused.
And as someone who didn't watch the show, that is also something I observed in the movie, is that, you know, they kind of set the stage. It's like, oh, he's a genius, but rarely do his things ever actually work as they are intended to do.
The
It
concept
reminded
of him
me,
being a boy genius is a lot tighter in the movie than the show.
It reminded me a lot of Meet the Robinsons. Did you ever watch that
Yep.
Disney
Yeah.
movie? Yep.
I was Meet the Robinsons, and I said, and because Janae was really confused by the fashion stuff, and she was a bit weirded out by the mum being like dressed as like a 50s mum. I was like, no, it's Retroville. It's meant to be like a modern day Jetsons.
Right.
type
Well,
of
it's like
thing.
the whole movie's very Y2K as far as like Cindy and Libby.
All the kids are Y2K, all
Yeah.
the town and parents are like 50s.
Yeah.
I get confused between jokes that are in the movie and jokes that are in the show, because there's a joke in the show later where just everything around the house is being maintained by toasters, because he keeps turning the toasters into different like vacuums and window cleaners and all that, and so she goes out and buys a new a new toaster again.
I would suspect that they always knew that this would be like the beginning of a series that they were working on, because I believe Barnyard was always supposed to be the beginning of a series, even though the movie was significantly better than the series.
Yeah, I would assume that the show went into production midpoint through the movie. I think they were fairly confident. Obviously, a bunch of video games went into production. Not just the movie game, but a bunch of the PC ones and all that other stuff went into production partway through the movie, because all of them have Cindy's old style, but they have Jimmy's new style with the long pants, which he has in all of the TV show.
With the game, I remember the Retroville level, but I didn't get very far. Like, is most of the game like just on the alien planet? Like, how
Most
much
of the game is
really
at home.
is it?
Most of the game is at home.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So they changed it up a little bit. You're beating up Yokians and stuff around.
Yeah, I remember that.
You go to Area 51. I think it's literally just the very end you don't go to the alien planet, you go onto an alien ship, I believe.
So it's
'cause
really
Carl
only
gets
loosely following.
Well, yeah, because only Carl gets kidnapped. Carl gets taken in one of the ships, I believe.
Huh.
There might be some parent stuff. I don't fully remember, but I remember. And
Interesting.
also, there's a difference between the PC version and the console version. Once
Well,
again.
yeah, we know. I was referring to the Big Sky Interactive version because I can't shut up about Big Sky Interactive.
There's a lot more of the Yokians on the planet that you're beating up, and more exploration of the town and that type of thing, and less alien ship stuff.
That game made me rage quit because like I lost all my progress after dying.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't saved or something. I was like, nope, I hate this game. No more.
I wouldn't have beat it if I wasn't streaming it, and it was like one of my best performing streams. I had like 30 people watching, and I was like, well, I gotta just keep going through this torture. What are our overall thoughts from someone that hasn't watched the show and someone that loves the show very deeply?
Second time ever watching it, probably. I can see why I really liked it as a kid. I remember I had like a shirt, I had like clothes, I think I might have had a toy of like Jimmy, like an action figure kind of thing. It was a big deal back then. I remember it like being a huge deal back then. Like it wasn't just another Nickelodeon show. It was like the next big thing that year.
It was the K-pop demon hunters of its time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know you're a big fan of Jimmy Neutron, and I do really like it, but I think I've realized Jimmy Neutron isn't necessarily my thing as much as I do like this movie. I just feel like there was not a running theme. I feel like a lot of the themes they tried to inject in there, like, oh, I hate parents, or I guess I hate parents is the big theme, but then they come to realize, oh, they need their parents. But like the whole thing about Jimmy being short, or Cindy feeling like less than because Jimmy's like, oh, he's the smart kid. Like, I feel like those are just they feel kind of tacked on there at the end.
Yeah.
I don't feel like those were very explored very well. But like, what are you going to do in an hour and a half movie?
It's a short movie. It's a very short movie, isn't it? I would say, it's been a long time since I watched it, and I don't actively watch Jimmy Neutron. I will, every Sunday, I try to watch some cartoons. I wake up a little bit earlier, I make breakfast for Danae, and we watch some cartoons in the morning. That's what I try to do every week. And I will usually jump for Hey Arnold, SpongeBob, any season of SpongeBob. I'm in season 7 at the moment.
Any season?
What are you talking about? It stopped at season 9.
The modern stuff.
No, the show finished at season 9. Hey Arnold, Rugrats All Grown Up, Rugrats, anything like that. The ones that I have the DVDs for, realistically, because I don't have the streaming service. I don't have Paramount Plus.
That was the thing is last night I was in bed and I was like, oh crap, I gotta watch the movie. And then I was like, do I have Paramount Plus? No, I don't. I was like, is there anywhere else you can stream it? I looked it up. I was like, no. And it's like $3 and you can rent it on Amazon. And I was like, I have it. So I was like, I got up. I dragged my CRT out of the living room.
We should get like Paramount Plus as like a business expense. What I will say is it is both a lot better and a lot worse than I remember it being. It's not particularly funny. There are 2 or 3 laugh out loud moments. It's not astoundingly funny. The SpongeBob movie, I can watch that once a month and I will still find hilarious. And I've put a room of adults together and shown them the SpongeBob movie for the first time, and they have cried laughing. It is not that. It is not that at all. There is a few kind of funny moments, a few good moments. It's not funny.
I feel like Sheen's very obnoxious.
Yeah, like
his humor is like...
They haven't gone this right. It looks really ugly, but there is something very in our very postmodern world that we live in, our very meta and very ironic world where everything's like, oh, did that really just happen? Oh my god, like it's that type of humor is something very enjoyable about a completely sincere movie. It is never really poking fun at itself. It treats itself like with a level of sincerity and like, I don't know, just respect, I would say. Like, it's not poking holes in itself so that the audience doesn't. And it's not like, oh no, we're in on the joke as well. Like, I hate that with modern movies where they can never just let something be a sincere moment or anything like that. It always has to be undercut. So there's that aspect, and I do enjoy it for seeing the starting building blocks of everything that comes after.
Right, and I can see why, Jimmy Neutron in general was a popular brand or whatever. Like, it wasn't... There's not a lot of stuff like it. And I'm surprised that it didn't last longer, especially because, they ended up... I think Barnyard started after Jimmy Neutron? I could be wrong about that. It's like, why would you go from this to a great movie, but then very, mediocre show? Like, I feel like Back at the Barnyard was very of its time as far as Nickelodeon stuff goes, where it's like, you've got the C-list Butch Hartman shows and these weird, Breadwinners, or, the Henry Danger live action stuff like that.
It's
very era of Nickelodeon.
It's not so much Nickelodeon's fault or the fault of numbers even for Jimmy Neutron, because a lot of what went wrong with Jimmy Neutron was the show was doing fine. You were going into that Simmer Zagami era of anything but SpongeBob wasn't really wanted, but it was doing fine. It's that the animation company behind it had two cinematic flops, one after each other, with the Ant Bully or wherever it was. They were really struggling.
I liked Ant Bully. I did not realize that was the same studio. I thought that was a good movie.
Yeah, no, they took a huge financial loss on that, and then Planet Sheen was a disaster, and they collapsed. The studio itself went bankrupt and collapsed, and Nickelodeon didn't renew it with a different company. They didn't try to find a different CGI company or anything like that. And obviously that indicates a level of disinterest from Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon didn't swoop in and purchase the animation company. I forgot about Planet Sheen. Or anything like that. They let it die.
Planet Sheen was such an odd choice, to continue that universe.
But Nickelodeon could have saved it, but they cared about SpongeBob then.
This might be a tangent, but you mentioned back in the day, the anything but SpongeBob is not wanted era. I feel like we're still in that era where it's all the new shows now are a new SpongeBob spinoff. You're not seeing anything really new. You're seeing the Patrick Star show.
I do agree. I just mean more in supplementary media as well. Nickelodeon now is very focused on nostalgia. So you're getting the Invader Zim movie. You're getting all these types of return stuff just for one-offs. It's not anything substantial. But from
Which actually,
I would
that
say,
was 10 years ago.
Yeah, 2017. All that stuff was happening. That's when Hey Arnold came back. So it was a short-lived period. But you're looking at a much more, and they're doing the video games again. They're doing that. They've expanded a little bit, but they've expanded as much as they can because they killed off everything else, and they've had their era. And this is the tricky thing that I just want to talk on a little bit. They're starting to get into a really dangerous era, which is they had their time to do these remakes and to do these season return stuff and to bring old shows back. They're starting to get out of that. I am the audience for a Jimmy Neutron return season. And every year that it doesn't happen, I care about it less and less and care about the idea of it less and less. I was the generation who should have cared about the Rugrats reboot. But they stuffed stuff up and released it when I'm a 20-year-old. And what, I'm supposed to watch seasons of that? I watched a few episodes. Of course, it's going to get cancelled. They changed the
whole dynamic of characters and everything in it.
They are such a behemoth and such a slow-moving machine that I think their whole era of bringing back nostalgia stuff, that audience is starting to not give a fuck anymore. It is starting to be too long. They have taken too long to give us our nostalgia bait, to the point where I'm going to be a 30-year-old and I'm not going to give a fuck about some shitty Jimmy Neutron final season that doesn't have Jeff Garcia in it and all this shit. You're taking way too long to even milk this stuff anymore. And then we've been begging for these, like Mario All-Star style, just bringing the old games to Switch in wide format.
Right now, they seem more concerned with like SNES era,
And
Game Boy
it's just-
era stuff. That's not really that interesting.
I want to grab them. I want to throttle them. I want. It's just like I still care, and every day there are less people like me that still give a fuck.
Yeah,
And it means our chances of
there's a
getting them reduce more and more. The time to have done it was bloody 2016 to 2021. Like, that was the era to have been doing these things, to have done the Jimmy Neutron reboot. Because then you still would have had Jeff Garcia in it. And
well,
like, all that.